What? Black people Jewish? Black people were the first created humans on earth millions of years earlier than all others. Now, can we proceed to inquire if they were Jews then? We may add a very interesting question. How do melanin dominant humans or people who predate Jews become Jews? My religion is Kamitics, Ubuntu, Mahati consciousness is my spirituality. I am a Kamitician. This preacher Rabbi LM Tumizulu of Marifa Development Organization. This is our email, join@marifado.com, and this is our website, www.marifado.com. The necessity of this inquiry implies other accessory reviews for our brothers and sisters who now fervently believe in Christianity and Islam, despite the fact that Muslims enslaved, crucified, slaughtered, raped, murdered black men, women, and children for over 1,000 years, and they still continue today. Christians enslaved, crucified, slaughtered, raped, murdered, as well as destroyed our civilization for over 500 years. Both religions are not our natural religions. Let's continue to look at how can a black person become a Jew. Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop, the Senegalese scholar on humanity's origins, states the following: if mankind originated in Africa, it was necessarily negroid, black, before becoming white through mutation and adaptation at the end of the last glaciation ice age in Europe. It is now more understandable why the Grimaud Negroid first occupied Europe for 10,000 years before the Cro-Magnon man, the prototype of the white race, appeared around 2000 BCE to 1000 BCE. Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop applied Gloger's law, which states that warm-blooded animals in hot and humid climate are naturally pigmented. The result, he stated in the book The General History of Africa, was that the earliest humans appearing around 150,000 BCE were ethnically homogeneous and negroid. Subsequent movement and migration of this race out of Africa, he maintains, was through the Sahara and the Nile Valley, where the basin in what is now Kemet was peopled. You can go and read a lot and study links that we are sharing this video. We will share more scientific proof now on the ancientness of melanin dominant humans. On the matter about the origins of Jews, it is a query that anthropologists, historians, and theologists have studied for millennia. So let's first find what race or which race is the oldest on earth. Scientific research proves who and when original humans appeared on earth. According to David Icke in his book The Biggest Secret, Brian Despero, a researcher and a scientist, and many other physicists have proof that the earth was once much nearer the sun than it is today, and that Mars orbited where the earth now resides. Therefore, the people that, according to Gloger's law, that should have evolved here were melanin, carbon, to withstand the sun's rays. Some scientists claim that when placed in sensory deprivation tanks for long periods, the circadian rhythm of other people that are non-pigmented is 24 hours 40 minutes, which corresponds not to the rotation of the earth but of Mars. Yet pigmented people, melanin dominant people's circadian rhythm synchronizes with the earth. That's what is in the book The Biggest Secret, which you can buy and get in many reputable bookshops. So we continue with the proof. For example, here's a scientific quote. Most of us think of Europe as the ancestral home of white people, but a new study shows that pale skin, as well as other traits such as tallness and the ability to digest milk as adults, arrived in most parts of the continent relatively recently. The work presented at the 84th annual meeting of the American Association of Physical Anthropologists offers dramatic evidence of recent evolution in Europe and shows that most modern Europeans don't look much like those of 8,000 years ago. Since this is proof that Jews appeared also on earth recently, with many scientific researches demonstrating who and when original peoples appeared on earth, how could black people become Jews? Let's add some more proofs. We're giving websites here and the sites and papers and journals that you can go and consult and prove for yourself. Europeans today are a mix of the blending of at least 3 ancient populations of hunter-gatherers and the farmers who moved into Europe in separate migrations over the past 8,000 years. The study reveals that a massive migration of Yamnaya herders from the steppes north of the Black Sea may have brought Indo-European languages to Europe about 4,000 years ago. And the new data confirmed that about 8,500 years ago, early hunter-gatherers in Spain, Luxembourg, and Hungary also had darker skin. They lacked the version of 2 genes. Capture this because these are very important. If you've got a pen and a piece of paper, please write these genes down and go and do your own research. SLC 2485 and SLC 4582. These 2 genes lead to depigmentation and therefore to pale skin in Europeans today. There is the website and there is a lot of information about this. For simplicity, we know such people and we've termed such people melanin recessive humans. Let us continue to show more proof. On the other hand, Africans have the oldest DNA. 2 pieces of human genome have proved useful in deciphering human history: mitochondrial DNA and the Y chromosome. All people alive today have inherited that mitochondrial DNA from an African woman who lived in Africa over 350,000 years ago. That's what science proves, but we know from our ancient studies of history that it's almost 2.5 million years ago. Fully developed, melanized, melanin dominant human walking in Africa. There is also more of the genes affecting pigmentation and variation. You see where SLC24A5 is coming from? You see where it's coming from? And you see how here the derived darker and oldest. These are the 3 ones here that gives the variations, and these are recent. Only 8,000 years ago this one came, and also there's a 3rd one, TYRP1. We have proved that black people were the first created humans on earth millions of years earlier than others. There is proof. Right? Such clinical proofs can only be rejected by any inquiry based on faith and belief. But the evidence first. It is very clear, therefore, that once we ask the question, when did the Jews appear on earth? It's 6,000 years BCE. At most. Right? There. It's based on their Torah, on the biblical Torah, as well as on science itself. Although science gives them 8,000 years BCE, we give them 6,000 according to that. So you can't compare 6,000 years to 300,000 plus. Let's be honest, let's be fair, and let's accept facts as they come. Since proof that melanin dominant humans were on earth earlier than the Jews has been shared here, it makes a very interesting climax then. Our brothers and sisters who are claiming to be of Jewish heritage must be either deliberately be misinformed and are now using more faith than tangible proof. On the other hand, either all these self-evident demonstrations are fallacious or there is a missing dimension. Yes, there is a missing dimension. It is the answer to the critical question, who are the Jews? For more than a century, historians and linguists have debated whether the Jewish people are a racial group, a cultural, religious entity, or something else. Let us look into this a little bit. Can DNA test determine Jewish status? Science to the rescue. Let's look at what scientists have discovered. Israeli-born geneticist believes the Turkish villages of Ashkenaz and Ashkenaz were part of the original home of Ashkenazic Jews. Dr. Eli Haik says it is the largest genomic study ever, and it was published in the UK scientific journal Genome, Biology and Evolution. The origins of Ashkenazic Jews and Yiddish. More DNA tests which were done, and applying other studies like GPS to a cohort exclusively Yiddish speaking and multilingual Ashkenazic Jews proved that they came from Turkey. Some also come and say the Jews are a race, but which race? How old? And then science and their DNA locks them to that period of 8,000 years BCE. There are others that have started this and gone into it. We are showing them here. In our previous work, that's what they say. We have identified ancient Ashkenaz, a region northeast of Turkey that harbors 4 primeval villages whose names resembles Ashkenaz. Here, we elaborate on the meaning of this term and argue that it acquired its modern meaning only after a critical mass of Ashkenazic Jews arrived in Germany. We show that all biolocalization analyses have localized Ashkenazic Jews to Turkey, and that the non-Levantine origins of Ashkenazic Jews are supported by ancient genome analysis. This is very important. Overall, these findings are compatible with the hypothesis of an Irano-Turco-Slavic origin, Iran, Turkey, and Slavic origin of Ashkenazic Jews, and a Slavic origin of Yiddish, and contradict the predictions of Rhineland hypothesis that lacks historical, genetic, and linguistic support. There is more evidence for you. There are the people, the Ashkenaz. There are these 3 books that we recommend after many years of research, studies. These scholars, Arthur Koestler, the 13th tribe, you have to read it, which proves that the modern majority of Jews or people claiming to be Jews or Hebrews or Israelites, 90% of them come from Khazaria, the Volga region here. This book, very important. DNA science and the Jewish bloodline. Although there's a lot of Christian stuff in this book by Texemas, it's a good book. And also this one, again, Shlomo Sandy, The Invasion of the Jewish People, is a very good book. So this settles that question. The question now remains, what about the Hebrew Israelites, Sephardic, Falashas, Igbos, Lembas? Where do they fit in this scheme? We will deal with these groups thoroughly in future posts. Suffice to summarize a little here that the Lemba, their DNA proves that they are a Bantu tribe. They could not be anything else. So, and also there are a lot of DNA tricks, because what happens, according to these scholars, that is of Y chromosomal lineages in the Lemba, this scholar has been interpreted as consistent with an origin in Middle East. There was no Middle East. It's not Africa, it's still Africa. Sena is still Africa. Yemen is Africa. Right up to China is Africa. Right up to India is Africa. So let's not think these people came from elsewhere. What came from elsewhere is that SLC 24A and as well as 42A. That those 3 genes are the ones that came out of Africa, and we know where they went. This case serves to show that interpretations of markers of genetic identity are not fixed. They can shift with time, and they depend on who the carriers are. So see, go and this is a researchgate.net publication given here, and you'll be shocked. There are many things that we shall share concerning this issue. The original, if ever there was one, a Jew, began not as a Semite in Palestine, but as a black African tribe worshipping Yu in Africa's Nile Valley. Yu is the African origin of the words Jew, Judah, and Judaism. Yu was the name of the goddess or god, divinity, ancestor, and the son of goddess, God as the ever-coming one, which is the Son. The Jews were a group of Ethiopians and Kenites who migrated out of the Nile Valley to settle in Palestine and India. Remember Shank under Job's explanation there in the original, in the beginning that we gave. An African tribe of African Jews which survives to this day and is still black is the Beta Israel, commonly called the Falashas in Ethiopia. We shall deal with this again thoroughly. So being a Jew or a Hebrew Israelite or an Israelite is a matter of religious conversion. That's very, very important. When we do the Passover, the days of unleavened bread, or the practices, the circumcision, how it is done, or this wearing tzitzit, all that, we will prove beyond any reasonable doubt these people are converts. Here, these are converts to these people. It's clear. You don't have to think seriously about it. It's there, open, sasame. So since we have proved that this is the real story, and that the original people on the earth had their ways of life, it is quite clear that religious conversions makes our brothers Jews, and then they dishonor their real ancestry, and then they dishonor their own ancient history and ancientness, and at the end of the day they do not worship the original creator, who is nameless and remote. Remember, only deities can be named. So if, however, you want to learn more about your actual identity, Hamiti Bru Ethics Marifado is more than ready to share the path. Send us an email on join@marifado.com. Can black people be Jews? Yes, by conversion, not natural birth. For others, welcome back home. Subscribe to our channel, Hamiti Bru Ethics Marifado Development Organization. This preacher Rabbi Elem Tumisulu, we are rebuilding our greatness. Thank you. Have a good day. Tatenda Siabonga.